What's going on, guys? This is Berz here to talk to you today about the Impact Weapons Components / Haley Strategic Partners, HSP. This is their Thorntail Keymod M3M61913 offset adaptive light rail, or light mount. I can't even say it right, it's very long. But that's what we're going to talk about today. And you've seen me in the past talk about the Haley Strategic Partners Thorntail mount. I have a video on that and a review on that, and that's just a picatinney version of it. This is the Keymod version of it, and it's actually universal. You can see it right here. And this is universal in that you can use it with many different things. You can use it with the SureFire mounts, you can use it with picatinney mounts, etc. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So as you can see here, what we have is a Inforce weapon mounted light, their WML. And I've really come to enjoy this, particularly for the ergonomics in the way that I hold the gun like such, and I bump the camera like a professional. This isn't exactly how I hold it, but I hold it like this. Need to use the light, bam, right there it is. I don't do thumb over bore. This is how I hold it. So it's very ergonomic for me to use the WML, and the 45-degree offset that this HSP Thorntail Keymod mount provides really puts it in an excellent position to use, at least for my style. So I'm going to go ahead and take off this WML to give you guys a better look at the actual mount itself. So let's talk about the different ways you can attach lights to this mount. It's a universal mount. You have a lot of different ways you can attach things to it. You can attach a Picatinny mount to it, just as I showed with the WML, because it does have Picatinny, right there. The other way you can do it, and I don't have a SureFire light, but you can mount a Scout or anything like that, directly to it right here with the two holes on top. And the other way you can go about it, you can also use the Picatinny rail for something like a pistol light, like the Inforce APO right here. I'm not a huge fan of that, but you could definitely do that, or like a TLR1. You can mount some sort of just regular flashlight, because what they do is they sell these rings, because this is the Haley Thorntail for the Picatinny mount. The ring here is also able to be put on here, so you can mount just a regular flashlight on there. You can see the screw hole there on the front, on the bottom. You can see the one on the top there. So there's a couple different ways you can attach lights to this, which makes this very user-friendly if you're going into, from day to day, from class to class, from mission to mission. Whatever you're looking to do, you can pretty much do it with this universal mount. And it's really adaptable, which is probably pretty much the biggest thing that has stood out to me. For the price of $50, you're getting a very adaptable piece of a kit to put on your rail. So this is Keymod, and I do have some reservations with Keymod, but I found something that works for me and something that makes me feel more secure about using it. Keymod accessories come with something very similar to this. It's like an L-shaped retainer. And what happens is you put that, this is on both sides of the, on both of these screws. You put it in the big section, you move it up to the smaller section, you get it tight, it stays in place. The thing with Keymod though is with vibrations and such, it not being a secure connection, you can use Loctite and stuff, but I've seen it come off in the past. So has Nate Murr, Variant Grip Stop, he's an M-Lock guy. But to make Keymod work for me, this doesn't work. So what I found is if you go out and buy some 8/32 screws, you can see this is 8/32 by ½ an inch. And then what I bought was some 8/32 thread. These are called weld nuts. And what that does for me, actually I have some that are actually out over here. What that does for me is it gives me the option to not use this in a claw setting. It allows me to take this on the back side of here, which as you can see takes up the whole hole there of the Keymod, and really put some Loctite on there, screw it down, and no matter what, even if it comes loose, it's not going to come off the rail. If Keymod comes loose, this will come off the rail, and I've seen that happen, and that's what someone pointed out to me previously. So that's how I mount all my stuff. I have had zero problems mounting it that way. People ask me, well, how do you mount it? It's a pain in the ass, and I can get into another video if people are interested in that. But this is what works for me, and I've had zero problems doing it this way, and it seems to be a more secure connection. The one thing I will say about this specific, bump the camera like a professional, obviously. But what I will say about this one specifically is you can see that it protrudes beyond where the screws are. A pretty good amount. to where you can't really get anything in and over on the front part here. If you had a single Keymod type thing, or on the back here, you kind of block using something directly behind it. I think the one thing they could do to improve on this is actually, you know, get rid of those. I know they're trying to get their symbols in there, or their logos or whatever, but if they could kind of move these in a little bit and get a little bit of that meat off of there, I think that would definitely be a positive as far as moving things behind it directly. If you're into that, if you're putting different things on your rail, it just eats up the front and the back portion of the Keymod behind, in front of it and behind it. So that's one thing I noticed, but I don't run anything like that. The only reason I say that is because I'm moving to a QD sling, as far as a QD swivel, and I was going to put it directly in front of this or directly behind it, and I noticed that I can't because it eats up part of the rail. So, you know, using a paracord, you know, like the way of the gun, you know, Frank Proctor's sling, it works perfectly fine because, you know, that's what it's made for. But, you know, I found that putting that QD swivel in there, I couldn't really do it in that position or this position or move this around because it eats up portions of the front and back. So that's one thing I think they could definitely improve upon. But as far as the performance of this, I've had no problems. You can see that, you know, it's definitely scuffed up and stuff. It works really well. It's very lightweight, which is what I was going for with this weapon right here. This is my Battle Blaster. You know, it just works really well. I haven't had any problems. And for the price, you're getting something that really adapts, you know, super well to many different situations. So, you know, for 50 bucks, I think this is definitely worth the price. Made in the USA. Impact Weapon Components is who makes it. I use a lot of their stuff over the years. It works extremely well. And I can't say enough good stuff about, you know, the designs they come out with and the innovations they come out with. They really lock down performance for what you're looking to do. And you really can't go wrong with buying anything from Impact Weapons Components. So if you guys have any questions or anything, go ahead and let me know. If you guys have a HSP Keymod mount like this one, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, or better yet, make a video about it. And until next time, later.
Tighten it.